I am Dan from themeparknut.com, and today we are at Dreamworld to check out Rivertown. Let's get cracking. Rivertown. Rivertown is Dreamworld's brand new jungle-themed land. It opened on the 23rd of December 2024. This visit here is from the 1st of January 2025. This new land took the place of ABC Kids World, and as you enter the land you can immediately see Murrissippi Motors. This is the jungle retheming of the vintage cars, which were moved from the back of the Australian Wildlife Experience over. Now this is a significant retheme, as you'll see in a little bit when we take you on a drive through the park. Now, we're going to rush over first and see Jungle Rush, the brand new Vekoma family coaster that is the centre point of this new land. And it is a really good ride. It is a Vekoma triple switchback coaster and has an incline triple switchback start. So now, I didn't know what that meant, even though I'm a pretty heavy coaster nut. But I'll try to explain it to you. As you come out of the ride station, you'll either be travelling backwards or forwards. As you'll see in a minute, the queue is incredibly detailed, but at the end of it, it splits into two. A backwards departing track and a forwards departing track. Now, it doesn't really matter which of these you go into, because you're going to spend half of the ride going forwards and half of the rides going backwards. Because as you leave the station, you turn a corner and go up an incline, either forwards or backwards. And then you are switched onto a different track and released. So if you started off going forwards, you're released backwards. If you started off going backwards, you're released forwards. Then you do one loop of the track, or part of the track, half of the track, and then you enter back into the same incline again, and you're switched onto another track. This time you're coming in facing backwards or forwards, the opposite of what you're doing, and launched out the other way. So regardless of which way you leave, you spend half of the ride going backwards and then half the ride going forwards. So I'm a big fan of this ride, and see the theming in the queue line is very, very impressive. And as you'll see in a minute, our reaction to the ride was one of thrill. It was a lot faster than I expected, and the backwards elements were really quite thrilling. So yeah, hopefully you all get a chance to check out Jungle Rush. It's a pretty amazing coaster. Jungle Rush was awesome! Yeah. What did you think, Lucy?
It was really fun.
That was so cool.
Very fast.
Very fast and very backwardsy. Yeah. Even though we went the forwards way, it was very backwardsy. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I like Jungle Rush. That was really, really cool. Barely even saw the big plane that's in there, but man, that was very cool. I'm going to try the backwards one, I think, later. We'll see how this queue goes during the day.
Yeah.
That was super fun. Big thumbs up for Jungle Rush. Woo! And now we're heading over to Murrissippi Motors, the retheming, and it is a significantly rethemed vintage cars attraction. Now, the vintage cars were a part of Dreamworld right from the very start. They were in the original Rivertown. So Dreamworld used to have a Rivertown land in this part of the park. However, it was not themed to the jungle. It was a theme to turn of the century Australia. So while this is a sort of new version of Rivertown, it's not really, because there's an entirely different theme on this land, but it's got the same name and occupies the same area. Well, the vintage cars was a staple of the original Rivertown. They were originally located where the Moto Coaster is now. This new location is a great redo of the vintage cars, and is going to be incredibly popular. On this day, we waited about 45 minutes to get on the ride. I wouldn't recommend that, but we really wanted to experience this new ride for ourselves. Yeah, look, as you can see, Dreamworld have done a really good job theming this. It doesn't feel like you're on a plonked ride on either the roller coaster or on the vintage cars. There is still a little bit that needs to be completed, because obviously they haven't opened up the train and things yet, but on the whole, I think they've done a fantastic job with this new land. The other attractions and things within this new land, obviously the motor coaster is technically still within the physical limits of this land, but it's not themed to the jungle, and according to the map it's still a part of Main Street, even though you enter it after entering Rivertown. So that doesn't really make sense, but that's what it is. Obviously there's the Rivertown store, which has both motor coaster merchandise and Rivertown merchandise, and there is Jane's Rivertown restaurant, which you might have seen in the distance before, on the other side of Jungle Rush, which is a completely new retheme of their Billabong restaurant. So on the whole, I think they've done a fantastic job retheming this area of the park. Overall, I think Dreamworld, as I said, have done a fantastic job. I give Rivertown a 4 out of 5. It's fantastic to have an original IP land with such detailed theming built in Australia. Great job, Dreamworld. That is it for our day here at Dreamworld, checking out Rivertown and having a good New Year's Day. We'll be back next week with more theme park news in a nutshell, so tune in for that later. Cheers!